I'd say half of my team has.
You might want to give that announcement one more time, sir.
Attention all, I'd like to start this public hearing on the Wilton Mall PUDD. I hope everybody is civil to each other, and you got a 3-minute time limit, so when the bell goes off, please stop the mic.
Sign the sheet.
Whoever wants to speak, sign the sheet.
Sign the sheet.
You want to grab the sheets?
A lot of people showed up after.
You want to grab the sheets?
Yep.
Thank you.
Possibly go through me. Highlight.
I don't.
Sons of bitches. Anybody that wants to speak, sign the sheet.
We need that. Can we get the first page? John, grab the first page. Yeah.
That's all we need.
Yes, you told me that. Invite was connected to the calendar, right?
No, Albany.
Yeah, I remember.
Thank you, John.
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you. I thought there was going to be a... Oh,
Let me try that again.
no. I thought there was going to be a few. Oh, yeah. I'm doing it for us.
Would you like to speak first, Mike? Come on.
I'll go ahead and speak first. Good evening. My name is Mike Schaefer, a 22-year resident of the town of Wilton and the general manager of the Wilton Mall. Transforming a vacant department store with another department store is nearly impossible in today's retail landscape due to the dwindling number of such stores. Consequently, shopping center developers and municipalities nationwide are embracing a new trend to reverse the decline of malls, converting their properties into mixed-use destinations where people not only shop, but also live, work, and play. The ultimate outcome is increased property values, reduced vacancies, and a boost in sales tax revenue. In order to facilitate the sharing of information with the public in a complete and fully transparent manner, we created the reimaginedwiltonmall.com website where we posted every document, plan, and report prepared to date for public review and participation. The proposed planned unit development district at the Wilton Mall restricts the residential development to a designated multifamily zone at the property's east end and caps the maximum density in units of 400. This ensures that the mall won't transform into a residential campus, preserving its retail character. The news about the proposed redevelopment at Wilton Mall has already piqued the interest of new brands, including an innovative fitness concept, Orange Theory Fitness, and a fresh theater operator eager to breathe life into the center and occupy available space. An economic and physical impact study prepared by Camoin Associates found that the residential project at the Wilton Mall will generate an impressive $368,000 in net new sales tax revenue annually from Saratoga County to the town. This increase comes from on-site jobs and new household spending as renters spend much more than condo owners. The Camoin study also projects an annual net benefit of more than $809,000 to the Saratoga Springs City School District after accounting for an estimated addition of just 25 new students. The proposed residential project will not involve Section 8 and will instead feature market-rate apartments and townhomes with luxury amenities. These accommodations will be attainable to over 65% of current 1- to 2-person households in the town of Wilton. The traffic study conducted in the spring of 2022, post-COVID, for the proposed residential project indicates that the existing roadways and intersections in the area have sufficient capacity to accommodate the project without any significant adverse traffic impacts. As part of our commitment to the community and this project, our contribution of over $750,000 will ensure the placement of a conservation easement over a long-standing family farm. This step will remove vested residential density from the area and preserve this cherished community staple. Our PUDD application has received unanimous favorable recommendations from the Town Planning Board and the County Planning Board. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
For the first speaker, we have Joe Moran.
Good evening, folks. I'm Joe Moran, resident of Wilton. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. So lived almost 20 years in Nassau County. So I've seen the increase of population and density. I've seen the increase of population and the density when there's, so many more people moving into an area and there's more housing. All right? It creates more traffic, more congestion, creates overcrowding of schools. And when you bring in new housing, I know we mentioned Section 8, but Section 8 finds a way of getting there. I lived next door to a Section 8 tenant. It was a nightmare. You can't get them evicted, all right? You bring in housing, urban development, that brings in a whole slew of other problems also, all right? Really, it destroys your quality of life. And again, we have enough traffic here in Wilton. I moved here to get away from traffic and congestion. I like the open highways. I like being able to park your car, not looking for a parking spot, which is really a wonderful quality of life issue. It really enhances the quality of life for people who live here. I've been here for over 15 years. I've seen the increase of the population in Wilton. It's getting more and more crowded. And when you have these multiple dwellings, again, they're going to have to increase the size of the schools. All right, that means more construction, and that means a lot more initiatives. And also, again, I would like to say, with these open borders, with the invasion, we have illegal aliens coming in. We're going to be committed to house these people over American citizens. I don't think anybody's thought of that also. All right, so I think we should limit the housing and the apartments, and I think everything should the way it be right now. All right, I think it's gotten overcrowded in the last 15 years I've been living here. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Sue Martin.
Just say his name.
My name is Sue Martin. I thought there would be other talking before I got up because I thought that the plan would be mentioned a little more. Hi, sorry. I'll look this way. Can you hear me now? Okay. I moved up here about 25 years ago from Albany. I watched the first Saratoga Mall go away. I saw the Wilton Mall develop. We shopped at the Wilton Mall constantly with my family growing up. It's not the same. We all know it's not the same as it was then. I was actually excited when I first started hearing about the plans for the new housing. I work in this area. I know the difficulty we all have finding reliable long-term employees who can actually get to work every day. So when I saw housing going up on the bus route, near the grocery store, near the jobs, I got very excited. Then I started hearing more of that term luxury apartments and luxury dwellings. What we really need there is working class dwellings and working class apartments. When you mentioned that a portion of the property is going to be just that, not Section 8 and not luxury, but actually working class income property, that's the property I see for the whole facility. The luxury housing that's been going up in Saratoga County, I don't think it's at capacity. I may be wrong on that, but I'd like to see that if the other luxury housing that's in the area is at capacity, then we may have room for more. But I really think what we need to see is working class housing in that location where people can take the buses to go to work in downtown Saratoga, to take care of the service industry, and to fill the many jobs that are looking for work in this area. Thank you.
Thank you. Chad Jerome.
Chad Jerome, I'm a resident of the town of Wilton. Full disclosure, I'm also sit on the town planning board, but I'm not speaking tonight in my capacity as a planning board member. I'm speaking as a resident of the town of Wilton.
question.
The mall project, I'm not in support of the mall project. The idea that this is somehow going to turn around the mall and make it forever be well is just a ruse. It's not going to do it. You're putting residential property next to a mall with the idea that hopefully the residents of that are going to somehow make the mall successful that has been in decline. The mall needs to reimagine its structure, not selling property to residential properties. Reimagine itself. Clifton Country Mall did it. Latham Mall did it. Store frontages, internal malls, internal shop malls are not what people want. That's not what tenants want. They want to have store frontage, not a placard on the outside signage by Route 50. It's not going to work. Reimagine the structure of the mall. An influx of cash for a residential dwelling with the idea that somehow these residents are going to get all these tenants into your mall that are going to make the mall good for 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now is just not going to happen. The reality is, yeah, malls are in decline for a lot of different reasons, okay? And it'd be unfortunate if the Wilton Mall were to go away. Businesses come and go, unfortunately. The town board isn't here to save every business that may or may not work. We're just not saying we want the mall to go, but if the business isn't there for it, then the business isn't there for it. You start putting residential there, what's going to happen is that commercial zone, which is what it's designated as, that corridor is there for just commercial property to benefit the residents of the town of Wilton. We don't have a town property tax for our real property for a reason. You start diluting that and putting residential properties on commercial property. When the mall unfortunately fails, which I hope it doesn't, but if it does, what's going to happen? You're going to be less desirable for other commercial developers who want to come in and say, oh, now I have to build around 3 or 4-story residential property. Less desirable. What then is going to happen, in my opinion? I think the developer is going to say, well, I'm already here, let me build more. You're going to dilute the sales tax revenue, and eventually, whether you like it or not, you'll have a town property tax. And that's going to affect every single resident of the town of Wilton in their pocket. I'm telling you, this is not, it's a ruse. The idea is this hope that they're going to come in and save them all. I don't see it as being the case.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott Kingsley?
Scott Kingsley, Traver Road, 50-year resident of the town of Wilton. Wow. You know, in the 20 years that I've been actively following the political goings in this town, I know our comprehensive plan has been opened at least 3 times. Okay? That is a commercial corridor. And that corridor has been created by public input, community investment, and sound decision-making by our public officials. I do not believe that a PUDD is an appropriate way to just swipe that whole process away. And you say, oh, just a little bit, Scott, it's not the whole thing. The problem is, when you open the door never closes. What happens when the rest of the mall continues to struggle? And we see malls struggling all throughout the country. Okay, we know what's going to happen, and I do feel sorry for the property owners there, okay? But they're going to want more residential when other parts of the mall fail. Lowe's is a company that's had financial problems in the past. If they go out of business, why can't that property owner have residential if this property owner could have residential? What happens if Barnes & Noble goes out of business? They have had financial problems in the past, right? Who buys books anymore? So why can't they have residential? So I am against the urbanization of this town. I was against the hamlets 20 years ago, and I'm consistent that I am against the urbanization. The renderings that they put out on their own Facebook ads could be right out of Brooklyn, right out of Albany, right out of Buffalo. If you want to look like Saratoga Springs, the problems of Saratoga Springs will follow. I am against this PUDD.
Thank you.
Chuck Cronin?
Thank you. I can talk factually
about some of the negative opinions that I've just heard about. I'm a resident of Saratoga Springs. My family shops at the property, and I'm very much in favor of the project. What I do for a living is I finance commercial real estate. In the past 10 years, we have financed over $1 billion in apartments in the Capital District. Both properties that are HUD and properties that are luxury and properties that have affordable housing. I know very much what they cost and the needs that the community has when you want to finance a project. I really believe that this is a project that will help to rejuvenate this mall. It is happening across the United States. I can speak to it factually, and if anybody who's shaking their head would like to come to my office and sit down and go through factual data from multiple organizations that support such endeavors, I'm more than welcome to open it up to anybody in the room. The project will help our community. When we talk about tax revenues, the revenue of this property at one point was, I believe, I don't know what the revenue was, but I know that the assessment was at $1.79 million. I believe today it's down below $20 million. So when we talk about this costing the town residents money, not doing something is going to cost the town residents money. So I'm very much in favor of the project. I've seen it happen. I just financed the acquisition of the Clifton Country Mall, so I'm very familiar with that. I also financed the acquisition of the Latham Circle Mall, so I'm very familiar with that. But we don't do this just in the Capital District. We do this all over the country. So I would be very happy to provide such information to anyone. With respect to the school districts, a project of this nature puts significantly less demand on the school districts than other projects that are being considered by the town. On Wednesday, September 20th, there was an expansion of a project from 391 residential units to 400 and change. Single-family homes have significantly greater impact on the school district than apartment complexes. It's a fact. Again, if anybody would like to see the actual data rather than hearsay, I'm very happy to provide it. We have the number of residents, children at multiple, is that my time?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura Vincek.
Hello, my name's Laura Vincek. You probably heard of the Vincek Farm. Maybe you go there. I just want to say in opening, I have researched the Wilton Mall project thoroughly. I've searched for anything that could possibly in any way be detrimental to Wilton or the surrounding county. I've made many phone calls to unbiased engineers and local officials. I've tracked and verified every question posed by anyone, and I found nothing harmful about the project's impact on the town of Wilton. The mall project will financially benefit Wilton for decades to come. Moving on to what you see as the conservation easement of the Vincek Farm, what this means is that the development rights would be lifted, removed, gone, and it will make the farm forever a farm. It will be a protected ecosystem into eternity. The permanent easement will not only benefit Wilton, but it will benefit the planet for as long as the planet exists. People have, well, a few facts about the Vincek Farm. It was built and working before this country became a sovereign nation, pre-Revolutionary War. The Vincek Farm is the 18th allotment of the Caterham Compact deeded by the King of England for the settlement of the New World. The Vincek Farm has been continuously working since the 1700s. The Vincek Farm has the distinction of Centennial Farm, established in 1919 and in operation by one family for over 100 years. The Vinsec Farm is a historic landmark and a national treasure that should be protected eternally for the generations to come. People have said to me things like, well, you could just remove the development rights. Well, if I could do that, someone else can put them back. People have said to me, well, why don't you just have it rezoned? Well, if I can do that, someone else can undo it later. The only way for this to be permanently in perpetuity, a forever farm, is for it to be in a conservation easement, such as the Adirondack Park. That's a different kind of easement, I must add. It's been said that only one person benefits from this. Well, obviously, that's not true. Everyone does. The planet, the ecosystem, it goes on and on. And lastly, it's been said that our family is trying to sell the development rights for the money involved. If that were true, we would have sold to one of the many developers knocking on our door for the highest price, not pennies on the dollar. And I had to say that because that's been going around. So, in essence, this is for the world and the generations to come. It will be forever a farm, a working farm, not a hobby farm, not a decoration farm, not a horse farm. It will be food producing and a protected ecosystem to always stay a farm. Thank you very much for coming out.
Tori Roberts.
Hi, I'd like to read an excerpt from a letter to the Wilton Town Board on behalf of Saratoga Plan in support of the protection of the Vinchek Farm. Dear honorable members of the Wilton Town Board, as a private nonprofit conservation organization, Saratoga Plan is dedicated to preserving the rural character, natural habitats, and scenic beauty of Saratoga County, including the town of Wilton, so that these irreplaceable assets are accessible to all and survive for future generations. One of the best ways to accomplish this is through the conservation of farmland. The Wilton Mall Group approached Saratoga Plan about supporting an undeveloped property in a prime development area of Wilton that might better help their plans to repurpose the gray fields of the already developed Wilton Mall and prevent development on the green fields of the Vinchek family farm. The completion of this forever farm easement will allow this family farm to be passed on to the next generation of the Vinchek family and ensure that the property remains a farm in perpetuity. Saratoga Plan offers this letter to indicate that it is fully prepared to move forward and pursue the conservation of the Vinchek family farm, which has the following environmental benefits. The properties border and provide a buffer to Spring Run, a source of drinking water designated as Class A by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. The properties also lie atop an aquifer designated by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation as a principal aquifer. The properties are in a large area of development, and development's increase impervious surfacing. Protecting this property will help to reduce stormwater runoff and flooding risk, which is particularly important considering recent flooding events. Farms purify air and surface waters, provide wildlife habitat, moderate heat island effect, increase local food security, and lower property taxes. Farms pay more taxes than they use in services. Saratoga Plan takes no position on the development plans of the Wilton Mall Group. However, from an environmental and conservation perspective, Saratoga Plan is supportive of the concept of using previously developed land for sustainable redevelopment strategies. Concentrating development in these areas offers the potential to reduce urban sprawl and preserve open space for the entire community. The Wilton Mall Group's participation and private funding will allow this project to move forward to completion before the pending expiration of the New York State Department of Ag and Markets grant. Saratoga Plan thanks the town board for their time to present this unique opportunity to protect this important farm, landmark, and community asset.
Thank you.
Betsy Hutchison, please.
My name is Betsy Hutchison. I am here on behalf of Pyramid Pines Estates. I'm not going to go through and repeat everything everybody else says, but we did want to come and let you know that we do oppose the expansion of the Wilton Mall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Paula Schmidt.
Hi everyone, I'm Paula Schmidt. I live at 19 Foxhound Run in Wilton. I strongly support the Wilton Mall apartment development and the rezoning to allow that to happen. I think it's the best chance for revitalizing the mall property and saving the tax base that comes from that. The economic benefit from the apartment complex is undeniably positive. There's really no negative environmental impact because you're redeveloping what is now basically a parking lot. The traffic infrastructure is in place already, so there's really no negative traffic effect. There's no pressure on collector roads like there are with some of the other developments that are happening very nearby. So I'm strongly in favor, and I hope that the zoning change is allowed to happen. Thanks.
John Soderman.
Well, my name is John Sullivan. I lived here 66 years of my life, and I had some issues with my taxes, and the girls at the tax department did a wonderful job, and I just want to thank them for all their help. Thank you.
Kudos.
Mike Bryce.
Okay, you should be there.
Good evening. I just want to voice my opinion. I am very opposed to this Wilton Mall project. I think that, number one, just the having that many people, 400 units, they're saying, that's probably 400 to 800 people, possibly 400 to 800 cars going out of very small entrances. The emergency services, they're going to be overwhelmed. There's 400 to 800 people there. That's a lot of calls they're going to have to go to in a spot that is commercial. I do feel the Wilton Mall, they should strategize better and try to entice retail to get back there. Fix it up, like you said. Make it more friendly for businesses to come in. But to have an apartment there, we're turning Wilton into Saratoga. And I'm totally opposed to it. Thank you.
Josh Vincent.
How are you, Josh Vincent, 141 Jones Road? If anybody in this room should be worried about the traffic, it'd probably be me. I farm probably in the town of Wilton.
Can't hear you.
In the town of Wilton, I probably farm around 280 acres, any nook and cranny in this town. The Wilton Mall project, I think there's a lot of what-ifs, and at first I was against it, then I was told some facts that weren't true, and I think that maybe this seems to be a very big thing that's going to happen for the future of the town and future generations. Maybe they could do a committee or, get some other people here and just kind of sit down and reevaluate everything from emergency services to the roads to the taxes and get all the facts correct, 100%, so we know. We elect these guys and they're doing a great job, and I think we should figure that out. The farm, obviously I wanted to stay here for the next 1,000 years. It is a benefit to the community. We have groups of the young mothers come in, they use the corn maze. The plan for the farm is to get more things for the community to go and enjoy. Just walk through it, for the kids. Every day there's just groups coming in. We help out all the different nonprofits every fall. We love it. We love to have this town beautiful, and we want to see this land here. I think that possibly we should just set up some sort of committee and just try to really sort this out. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Well done.
Brian Russell.
My name is Brian Russell. I live in Cobble Hill in Wilton with my wife Nikki. We lived here for 23 years. I wanted to show my support of the project. I think that the reasons that Mr. Schaefer and Mr. Cronin mentioned were I'm not going to repeat those. I think they were well said. two areas I'd like to just expound a little bit upon is when I hear people talking about the mall and bringing in different businesses and things like that. I think the mall's done a good job of repurposing itself. The years of us going to bricks and mortar stores, the whole United States is showing just doesn't happen anymore. And I think if Saratoga thinks that, or not Saratoga, Wilton thinks that it's going to be the destination for a lot of big box stores, we're probably mistaken. So I think the repurposing that's going on with the use, bringing in the hospital, bringing in the Department of we'll get our vehicles, DMV, things like that have really repurposed them all in a different way. They bring people in that do end up going and doing some other things. I think by having the apartments there, it won't have a huge impact. It will have an impact in keeping people that pay taxes there, property taxes there, but right now they're just empty parking lots and empty buildings. I'm also an HR executive, so I know the difficulty that companies in the area have in finding employees that can live close enough to Saratoga to go to work. I believe that having market rate apartments in the area will help significantly in getting more people. I've got 5 kids we've raised here. All 5 kids couldn't afford to stay in Saratoga. They've lived in outside towns, and if you have market rate apartments, I'm not talking about low income, I'm not talking about luxury, but places where you can get an apartment there and walk down the hall and go to your job in the hospital administration. It just makes sense. And I think that this is a good way of keeping the tax base where it is and not having it continue to drop. Thanks.
Jonathan Locke.
My thoughts are always all over the place, so please bear with me. I am the proud owner of Salty Buns Restaurant, now located in the Wilton Mall. We opened this past June. And the reasons why we chose this place wasn't necessarily about a strategic move, but it's our heartfelt dedication to this untapped potential embedded within this initiative. The transformation of the Wilton Mall transcends mere aesthetics and commerce. It's honestly about fostering a new type of growth, prosperity, and progress. The potential for fresh job opportunities, increased revenue, and the substantial advantages that our local businesses, local, not big box, are poised to enjoy from this development are nothing short of awe-inspiring. This endeavor will breathe vitality into our town, offering decent living spaces and crafting a vibrant community replete with essential amenities at our fingertips. From a grocery store, gym, DMV, food court, movie theater, local shops, and the convenience of major retailers to come. What truly sets this project apart is its capacity to offer employment prospects on numerous fronts, from the skilled labor that will be necessary during the construction to the countless positions needed to support the residents and businesses within this new complex. We are talking about possibly substantial, sustained enhancement to our local job market. Let us be unequivocal. This is not merely about an increase in tax revenue for our town. It is about resurrecting not only the mall, but also the very spirit of what Wilton was. We aim to breathe new life into our physical surroundings and invigorate the hearts and minds of our fellow residents and business owners. Our mission now has become to instill hope, construct a flourishing community, and cultivate an environment where dreams can not only take root, but also thrive. My dreams, my family's dreams, our dreams for Wilton. In conclusion, I implore each of you to perceive the potential inherent in this venture, not just in the steel and concrete that will shape this new complex, but in the countless lives it will touch. Let us embrace this change, welcome the growth, and together, let's build a brighter future for Wilton. I thank you all for your attention, and may we move forward with optimism, unity, and unwavering determination in our hearts. And together, we can kindle a small business renaissance in Wilton, propelling our town into a prosperous and vibrant future that will not just reimagine the Wilton Mall, but reimagine all of our futures. Thank you.
Sir, do you live in Wilton?
Yes.
King?
King Road.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Susan Howe.
Thank you.
Good evening. Hi, my name is Susan Holm. Can you hear me in the back? I guess I just kind of want to, can't hear. Okay, I want to just sort of summarize some things. It seems like everything that's underpinning the arguments against the mall are sort of fear-based, and the things that are underpinning the arguments in favor of the mall are hope-based. And so I just kind of made a few notes, and I have, I'm just going to bullet point it. I have 6 quick fictions and 10 quick facts. And I'll just compare and contrast. So a fiction is that they're going to be taking out green land. The fact is that they're going to be adding trees, they're going to be adding green areas, and as somebody else already said, they're only redeveloping a parking lot. Fiction, there's going to create all kinds of traffic problems. Fact, the traffic studies have been done. The infrastructure's there. This is not going to create traffic problems. Fiction, and here's one that no one in this room has mentioned yet. The fiction has been out there that Democrats tend to live in apartments. Fact, I did the research myself. Over 55% of the residents in the paddocks across the street are Republican. Okay?
That's good news.
Yeah, right? Okay? Fiction. Apartment dwellers are transient. We don't want transients in our town. Fact. Over 90% of the residents at the hamlet down the road have been there 3 to 5 years or more. Okay? Fiction. This won't save our mall. Fact. This is going to attract small businesses. This is going to attract residences. This is going to attract restaurants. This is going to attract, and it's a fact because it's been proven across the country, as the gentleman in the turquoise shirt in the back, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. This has been proven across the country to be a successful strategy to save the mall. Fiction. This is my 6th and final fiction. This is taking away the town that I grew up in, and it just doesn't look the same. Okay, you know what? I've been here 26 years. When I got here, there was like a population of 4,000 people. And I cherished it as a small town too, but here's the fact. That ship sailed. That ship sailed when this town and this town board agreed to develop the Route 9 corridor. That's the fact. That ship has sailed. So here's my last 4 points, and these are facts with no corresponding fictions. This is growth. This is jobs. This is saving our tax base. This is what we call economic development. Let's go for it.
Chantel. Yeah, I couldn't, I'm sorry, I can't read it.
Hi there, my name is Chantel Couture. I've been a resident of Wilton for over 33 years. I live on Jones Road in the corner of Vinsec Lane, right next to the Vinsec Farm. I'd like to say I'm definitely in favor of this project, not only for the reuse of the Wilton Mall and echoing the same facts. I won't go ahead and repeat them. I planned on saying some of those myself. But also for the easement corridor for the Vinsec Farm, leaving it a forever farm. I want this place for not me, it's for my grandchildren, my grandchildren's grandchildren. This farm has been here before this country. It should stay here for as long as this planet is alive, in my opinion. Not only for, our grandchildren's grandchildren, but for the entire community, for growth, for teaching children about farming. We're losing that essence here. So I just want to say I'm for that.
Tony Sturm.
Hi, Tony Sturm, 41 Parkhurst Road. I don't want to repeat a lot of the wonderful points that different people have made. I think some of them are really, really strong. I am very strongly in favor of this project. I think it does present an opportunity to revitalize a really significant potential sales tax base for our town. There's cinema, a multiplex that's interested in coming back to the mall if the apartments are there. This is a large project that will have no environmental impact. It's a gray zone, it's already paved over, which is in far contrast to some of the other projects that are seeming to just sort of make their way through the planning board and town board approval process. There is significant financial benefit to our town by this project, not only in sales tax revenue, which they've mentioned is to the tune of an estimated $368,000 annually, but also in our Saratoga Springs school tax, a net gain of, again, it's approximation, but about $800,000 a year. That's not chump change. And the final really positive point is that this is a really special opportunity to preserve a beautiful farm that I had no idea has this kind of historical background. But this is over 120 acres of key, prime, residential R1 developable land. People who are concerned about, oh, the growth in our town, I think it makes planning sense to concentrate growth. I think hamlet zones make sense. I think a mixed residential commercial zone at the mall, if it stands a chance of revitalizing the mall, makes sense. And to link it to protecting over 120 acres of R1 land in the Jones Road, Smithbridge Road, Gavin Park area is a beautiful feather in the cap for the town board of Wilton. I mean, this is an amazing accomplishment. So I really encourage the town board to let this project move forward and to approve the mixed commercial residential zoning. And the one thing that I would put in as a request to the mall developers and to the town board for future projects of significant size would be to really seriously consider putting in energy capture technology on rooftops and in parking lots. We know that the mall area is not adjacent to high-tension power lines. You can't put in any kind of commercial solar or large-scale solar, but you can put in solar that will furnish the energy for those homes, for those, for those businesses, and I strongly encourage that process to move forward as well. Thank you. Thank you.
Dwayne Hendershot?
Scooch.
You can take it out.
Karaoke it.
Or just take the mic out.
Oh, I'll take it out. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dwayne Hendershot, store director at the Healthy Living Market in the Wilton Mall, and I stand in support of the transformation project at the Wilton Mall. The site of the Bonton is a part of the mall that will be torn down. It's currently in really bad shape. It can't even be developed. I'm really excited for the prospect of a new future for that site and the parking lot around it. I've worked at the mall for 9 years and have never had to wait to get out of the parking lot one time, not even during the holidays. I come and go at all times, day and night. If any of you have ever worked in a grocery store, you know it's not a 9-to-5 job, and I've never had to wait. There's a picture in Mike Schaefer's office from 2009 showing the mall absolutely full. People seem to manage to get out. There was a car in every spot, and if you've been around that mall, there are a lot of spots. So there's a lot of room for growth, and there's a traffic study posted right on the site. Can't miss it. It will cause a snowball effect. We'll see better retailers, we'll see improved services, and it's going to generate a lot of tax dollars. Those are all facts. If this revitalization effort is not passed, I'd hate to see what would happen to the site. I foresee further deterioration followed by a sale of the property to who knows who for who knows what. And why gamble on what will happen when there's a perfectly good plan in place? A plan that is documented at every step on the website. If you have any fears or concerns, everything is documented top to bottom. a plan that will generate a lot of tax dollars, a plan that will help to conserve a family farm forever, a plan that will help to revitalize a tired old mall and make it viable again. It's a win for local business, it's a win for the community, and it's a win for Wilton. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kathy Russotti. Katie Russotti, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, here we go. I'm trying to make it for the people in the back because I've been there. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm here to voice my support for this project. I've been going to the Wilton Mall since I can remember. I remember seeing my first movie theater movie here, Hunchback of Notre Dame, in 1996. Every year for Christmas, my aunt would give me $50 to go wild at this mall. I'd go to the bookstore, the Carousel, which is now the Fountain, and we'd always finish off at the food court that was hustling and bustling. I grew up, went to college, lived in Boston, then came back home and brought my husband with me. And we chose to live in Wilton versus Saratoga because of the good school district, low taxes, and the safe and inviting neighborhoods. Obviously, a lot changed from my childhood. When COVID hit and the movie theater shut down, I felt stores just kept closing, or a revolving door of small businesses that just didn't make it. But that's malls across the world, and it was happening well before COVID. Malls were a suburban delight. They were the only and best game in town. And then things changed with the rise of e-commerce. The convenience factors of malls as a one-stop shop is completely dead. But malls are so much more than just leasing space to retailers. The mall itself, not the shops within it, is the product the consumer actually consumes. And COVID, although destroyed a lot of businesses, it created a demand for community. And the mall is a place where our residents and visitors can mingle. Think of another place in Wilton where we can do that, other than Home Depot maybe. I've been excited when we rethink how to reinvigorate malls because that's what we need to do to keep it alive. It's a place of community and its success keep our taxes low. I love that we added Saratoga Hospital into Old Sears. When I heard about adding apartments into Old Bodton, I thought, great, and here's why. You'll increase foot traffic. There's synergistic business opportunities for Planet Fitness, Healthy Living, Home Goods, and pretty much any food vendor. Residents provide a stable and consistent customer flow and will create demand for more businesses to want to come to the mall and build on the live, work, play model primarily sought by young adults. The problem is time. Sometimes these projects take 5 to 10 years before they even get entitled to put a shovel in the ground, and struggling malls don't always have that timeline. In some cases, the malls that have fallen out of demand that have projects like these on the docket are demolished, which happened in White Plains, New York. But we're not White Plains. When a department store is vacant, we're taking those immediate necessary steps to rethink and redevelop that space, like Saratoga Hospital. We're bringing community events like the Farmers Market here. I'm seeing new stores open other than Yum Yum Kitchen, like Sarah's Kitchen and Salty Buns. We're revitalizing dead space that was meant for a lot of people years ago. People and businesses want to go to malls where there's people. Malls are about the people. This project will bring those people. It will reinvent unused space, and I believe will bring a greater sense of community to Wilton. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alex Russotti.
Well, it's a tough act to follow, so I won't even try. My name is Alex Rosati, town resident. I'm also on the town ethics board, but I'm not here in that capacity. I just want to express my support. I won't repeat anything. One concern that someone brought up was emergency services. And an important point I want to make is that the Saratoga County Sheriff stay at the town of, within the mall. My understanding is that that's rent-free and it allows quicker response times. So if the mall ends up falling apart and goes out of business, that's going to be something where you're going to get slower response times potentially. So I'm in strong support of this for all the reasons everyone else has said. And I wish everyone the best of luck in the project. Thank you.
Tom Case. Tom Case.
Not here. Gotta be here if he signs his name.
No. Okay. If he shows up, we can go back to him. Matt Rose.
All right, who's signing the book?
Oh, wait, get one moving forward here. This could be a Matt Rose.
It is.
Get Tom Case.
please.
Good evening, everyone. I've lived in Wilton for the past 8 years. I'll keep it short and sweet. I think this is a little bit of a short-sighted plan. I mean, we have Route 9 zoned for residential. You can always add apartments there. I think sacrificing commercial property for this plan just isn't smart for the long-term future.
Thank you.
Carol Shoup-Star. There she is.
Hi, everybody. I'm Carol Shoup-Star. I've lived in Wilton for 40 years, first on Chipmunk Chase, and previous to that, I'll move closer. I lived in Wilton for 40 years on Chipmunk Chase, and previous to that on Maple Avenue. I'm pro Wilton Mall very strongly, for the reasons being that I think it'll be revitalized. I think it's, when you walk into it now, it seems like it's just so dead. It seems like there's nothing there. So that's one reason. I think it'll bring a lot of revenue to Wilton. So there's several reasons for that. The other reason I'm pro for it, the Vincent farm is beautiful. It's brought children to the farm. And if you look at it, you go to it, it's just a beautiful farm. And we need to keep it in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Darlene McGraw.
Hi, I appreciate everybody for giving me the time to speak today. I myself, if you see, I brought my helmet because I rode my trike all the way from Clifton Park, Half Moon by exit 9 to speak today. I am speaking here because I used to work here in the town of Wilton. I volunteered here in the town of Wilton. I actually just came and helped a friend of mine let me know that there's somebody that needed help mowing the grass and raking the leaves, so I came up here to help them do that today also. But I take the bus a lot, and when I take the bus is something that we do have to consider here. Not just at a local level, but a lot of people that ride the NX bus take it to go to their state job. Let's not just take it at a local level. But if they can't get to their state job, who's going to be working for the state? Nobody. So forget about your state job and forget about your state government, because there's your tax-paying dollars that are going to go up higher. So I just wanted to let you know that. And if you guys think you did the traffic study, well, screw it. You did not do a really good job, because on my way here, I faced multiple problems. And if you want, come on with me. Come on, let's join me. I'll have you join me. You can either walk, you can take a bike. Either way, you want to come with me. Let's join me. Always. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Darlene.
I'll see you in 18.
Okay, that's it. The 18th. That's it. 15th. I have no idea.
She was talking about buses, not the mall. Yes, sir. Does anybody else want to speak? John, don't need to go higher. Professionally.
Can we talk about other issues or just the?
Well, just the mall. Just the mall for this. Just the mall. There's another sign-up sheet you can, for public comment. We have that, or I take it?
I have it. Yep.
Good evening. My name is Jack Kelly. I'm a professional economic developer. Some of you may know me from my past experience. I was the senior vice president of the Saratoga Economic Development Corp. I have a certain affinity for Wilton. I led the team along with Ray O'Connor and some other people in the community that brought Ace Hardware distribution, Target distribution. One of the things that really concerns me probably the most about all of this, first of all, I'm in favor of the project, is the vacant buildings that are down there and the things that can happen to vacant buildings. Ray, you maybe remember the call. We got one morning at 1 o'clock from the state police. I worked with Bobby DeAndrea on the acquiring of the old Wilton Developmental Center. We had a bunch of teenagers that had broken in there, and they had a big bonfire going in that open space just outside the swimming pool. People here have really done their homework, and I congratulate you. I also congratulate the people that brought in some concerns, and I hope that they are taken into consideration here. But this is a very positive project. Saratoga County is one of the few areas in New York State that gained in population. We didn't lose it down to the south or to other areas. That's because of good economic development we've had in here for the last 40 years, which has been fostered with good support from our elected officials and volunteers. First of all, I have to publicly say this community owes a real debt of service to Ray O'Connor and the vision that he's had over the years. So thank you, Ray, for that and the vision that you have for the future. And I thank you, the community, for coming out and speaking this evening. Continue to do it. Let's take, instead of having politicians, let's have some statesmen as it relates to this project. Thank you very much.
Jack, if I'm looking for a new agent to represent me in the future, are you available? Just checking.
Well, that's only if you've got the movie rights to your book.
Yep. Richard Spackman.
As named, Richard Spackman. I live on Maple Avenue. I'm also a member of the Ethics Board. Apparently, there's lots of us here tonight. I've never heard that before. So my name is Richard.
That is true.
Yeah, there you go.
Richard Spackman. I live on Maple Avenue. I am a member of the Ethics Board as well. I am not speaking in that capacity here tonight. I'm speaking as a resident of the town of Wilton, so Mark should be happy I said that. I've heard a lot, the word fact was thrown around here a lot tonight, and hope, and I think the reality is that this project has pros and cons, and a lot of the facts that were thrown around really aren't facts, right? They're educated guesses or predictions on what might happen in the future based upon data that occurred in some other part of the town or other part of the city or other part of the country, right? It's not a certainty, sorry. Can you hear me now? It's not a certainty, right? It's probably likely, maybe it'll occur, but it's not a certainty. So I want to urge the town board to safeguard against what happens if all that development doesn't occur. I haven't heard that theme here tonight. I've heard a lot of hope, I've heard a lot of positive things. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, right? There's pros to this development and there's cons to this idea. But what happens if it doesn't come with all the advantages that we think might occur, right? So I want to urge the board to think about that and safeguard the town against that possibility. And I think it is a very real possibility. Lastly, I have to agree with Mr. Vinsek, and I do call him Mr. Vinsek, even though he's younger than me. I think the information about this thing really stinks. The information getting out and the quality of it and the accuracy of it, it just stinks. And I think the corporation has some blame on that, right? I'm not talking about marketing materials, I'm not talking about websites. I'm talking about unfiltered data, not spin, just the, here we go again, just the facts, right? That's all I want to see to make an educated, I guess, a better educated guess without spin, right? So my understanding is the PUD is asking to rezone the entire property.
110 acres.
I don't know why that's necessary. If you want to talk about protecting against the, I guess, the risk here, we should probably only rezone the part necessary for this specific project.
They won't be able to put the 400 units.
So, well, whatever the case may be, I don't think you should rezone the whole thing. I think that's the middle ground here. I think that's the safety net. And I think that should be considered. So thank you for sticking up for the town. Thank you for making sure this goes, I think, the right way and making sure that the town's best interests are represented. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else want to speak? I do. Go up there. I will, but I want to make sure I can first.
You want to say it there?
Well, I'd like to speak on behalf of the two people that sat down for the last 2 years in meetings. Can I talk about that here, or should I talk?
As a town board member, why don't you wait until after the public hearing and then talk?
I could do that too. I just feel that, all right, yeah.
It could be right after the public hearing, but let the public have its say during the...
I think we were done, that's why.
Does anybody else want to speak?
Okay.
Once, twice? Come on up.
This is for the Wilton Mall, right? Sorry, I'm a little...
Yes. Yes, it is.
I spoke a
We
lot.
saved you some time.
Thank you. Sorry, I actually am Desiree. I work at the Wilton Mall.
Desiree, could I have your last name, please?
Yes, Natale, Natale. I work at the Wilton Mall. I also live in the area. I love the Wilton Mall. I remember it when I was younger, the carousel. I remember all of the times that I went there with my grandmother. It was amazing. Like I said before, the last meeting, it's a ghost town now. We need to do something to kind of keep that around. What are we going to do if that goes down? The businesses are going to go out the door, people are going to lose their jobs, everything. We don't want that. I don't want that. I work there. I support my family. I have 2 children and a wonderful husband, and I am the sole supporter of them. I don't want to lose my job there. I absolutely love working there. I love the reminder of my grandmother every single time I go in there. Absolutely beautiful. This is going to help a lot of people. It's not only going to help the people that work there, it's also going to help the community. It's going to revitalize that place so that we can have it back. We can actually go there and see big stores that everybody wants to have there. We can go and have a place like we used to when we were younger and be able to sit there with our friends and just go window shopping if we wanted to. Right now, it's so sad. It's so sad that a piece of our childhood is about to be gone because we can't all come to an agreement to be able to revitalize that spot. It's going to be better for us. It's going to bring more people into the community. And I understand, like I heard a lot of people saying, it's going to kind of congest the roadways. So to be able to talk about that, how is it going to congest the roadways when they're all going to be basically working, eating, and playing all at the same place and staying there too? This is going to help. I'm a manager at a jewelry store. I can barely find anybody to work. This is going to help our businesses as well. It's going to help get more people in to apply to help us be able to stay where we are, to be able to serve the public and be able to see the happiness. Like I said, I work at a jewelry store. I only like happiness, right? I don't want to see anything else. That's why I got into the business that I'm in. And I just want to see this place actually just continue to be there, to continue to give me those memories of the childhood that I had, and to continue to give me the memories that I had with my family there. And hopefully my children will have memories there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else want to speak?
Quick.
You're up.
Make a motion to close it. Well, close the meeting.
Somebody want to make a motion, close the meeting?
So moved.
Public.
Second.
All in favor?
Talk about it though.
Any opposed? Carried.
Now's a good time.
By which you meant close the public hearing.
Close the public hearing.
Open meeting?
I'd like to welcome all to our October 5th Town of Wilton Board meeting. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do it yourself.
Right after
Roll call, please, Sue.
roll call.
Supervisor Lant.
Here.
Deputy Supervisor McEachran.
Here.
Councilman Bogardus.
Here.
Councilwoman Colligan. Present. Councilman O'Connor.
Here.
Anybody signed up for
I'm going to do it.
public comment?
I'm going to speak before the public comment.
Okay, go ahead.
Is that all right, Deb?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
All right, hello, everyone. I'm John McCachran. I've been working on this project now for about 2 years. Myself and Dwayne Bogarta sat down with them all. So a lot of these points that you guys are hearing have a lot to do with the fact that we sat down in that committee. About bringing workforce housing, a percentage of the apartments workforce housing, that was brought up. During the first meeting, it was, what are they going to do with the proceeds from the sale of the property? The answer was nothing. They don't put money into a failing mall. Our second meeting was asked again, it was brought up, the woman from Macerich said we don't put lipstick on a pig. We don't put money into a failing mall. So these were concerns of myself and Dwayne, because to be honest with you, I am actually in favor of the project, but there has to be something in it for Wilton. Wilton doesn't get anything out of it. So a few of the points that we made, they've went back to the drawing board, sat down with their CEOs, Macerich and Paramount. That meeting is when I was humiliated by the owner of Paramount, called me dad like 4 times during the meeting. Got a little upset over that, but still didn't lose my train of thought about it, because the facts are clear. The mall was built for, you got a 4-lane highway. The mall was built for traffic. Traffic's not my issue. School's not my issue. Plowing the road's not my issue. All them things were great, but what's in it for Wilton? We're changing zoning. We're changing a zoning to 110-acre PUDD that can never get brought back. It can never change back. So what do we get out of it? It's got to be a public benefit. We asked them to do a TDR. The 2 lawyers got fired for that. They don't do that. Why should I, is what I was told. Why should I? That's what I was told. So then all of a sudden it starts making sense. So they came back with all the things that you're hearing that you like about the project. That's only out there because of myself and Dwayne. Because these are things that I have to protect. I have to protect the town of Wilton. That's what I was elected for, to protect the town of Wilton. Now, I was offered at the last meeting, I don't know if you're familiar with Palmertown Ridge. Palmertown Ridge is 40,500 acres. 40,500 acres. They don't have the funding. Saratoga Plan didn't have the funding. They offered $1.2 million. I said, for what? That's not going to help the town. What is that going to do for the town, the residents? I'm asking for a transfer of development of 65 acres of prime real estate to offset the 65 acres they want to build on at the mall. That's what it was. Nothing about protecting other areas of the town that, as far as I'm concerned, they weren't planning to build on anyways. So these are the things that was brought up. So I just wanted everybody to understand, we are working with the mall, but they're going in areas and avenues that, you know, there was about 5 things that we wanted to see. We wanted to see the mall get transformed with the proceeds from the money. So what did they do? They put that on their website. This is what it's going to look like if we get the funding. That's great. That was one of the things. How much is going to be put into everything they agreed to except for the 65 acres or the public benefit? Now, if there's a public benefit with this next deal that's on the table that's going to benefit the town of Wilton, I've yet to hear it. You know, I get that, you know, the protecting the farm, I get it, but I turned down $1.2 million. I can't compare the two. That's my problem. I can't compare the two. So I just want everybody in the area to know this is something that we're working on heavily, and I offered this meeting up last month so we could get the public's input. But my thoughts are, I'm not there yet. Personally, I'm not there yet until we sit down, and I don't want to sit down in another meeting where I get insulted. I want to do this for the betterment of Wilton. Wilton needs to get something out of it. That's all. Now you can do the public comment.
Thank you. Scott Kingsley.
Thank you. On a lighter note, as many of you had your visit down memory lanes earlier, and I just want to point out that we are approaching a pretty special milestone here in the town of Wilton historically, because it was 50 years ago, Sunday, October 7th, 1973, that the new town hall, located right across the driveway here, was dedicated by Supervisor Gavin and the rest of the town board. And they did it in the name of a longtime public servant, Justice James Wesley Worth, who had just passed away earlier in the year. So that was 50 years ago, Sunday, October 7th, 1973, and I think a milestone that I really wanted to bring to everybody's attention because I think that's important.
Thanks, Scott.
Ray, were you on the board then?
I was on the board in the old town hall, though, but not that particular day.
Just started then.
Did you want to come up and speak? Did you? Yeah. Okay.
About Love Fairy Lake Road?
No?
Oh, no one spoke about that one.
Okay.
You better go get him.
No.
Yeah, they're Love Fairy Lake Road. Yeah.
I'd like them to start talking about something.
She just threw you under the bus. You still got the tire tracks.
We're in public comment right now, so if there's anything that it doesn't have to be about anything other than what you want to bring up.
Well.
I appreciate the positive comments about the hospital going into the mall.
Excuse me, could I have your name, please?
Angelo Calboni.
Thank you.
Love Fairy Lake Road. I thought it was a good project for us. It has turned out well. We did that for a lot of reasons. One was a real hope that there would be some future visionary leadership and transform the property so that we would be part of an evolving project. I'm retired now, so it's in all your hands. But that's been a good opportunity for us.
Excuse me, Angelo, but for those who may not know, Angelo is the former CEO of Saratoga Hospital.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. What I actually was going to mention, but I don't know, frankly, what context it is, since no one else talked yet about Love Fairy Lake Road, but my wife invited me to talk.
He's a better speaker than me.
We live on Loughbury Lake Road, and I understand there's going to be a discussion about the traffic at Loughbury and Maple. Is that true?
It's on the agenda.
No?
They are doing a traffic study right now.
All right. I'll wait till that comes back to.
Wait, throw your opinion there, because that's a tough road.
That road has outrageous speeding. Every day, every hour. I've clocked someone at 70 already going past my house. The average speed is probably about 50. The speed limit, I think, is about 30. I've worked on and driven performance cars since I was 15 years old. I know speed. I can tell how fast people are going. And I've seen 70 mile an hour passing my house in the street. It's very dangerous. Anything that could be done to reorient that road in any way. We have kids playing on the street, people walking on the street. People cut through from Maple to 50, which you can't stop. But the only reason they cut through is because they can speed and make it a shortcut. If you can't speed, it's really not a shortcut. That's my comments. Thank you.
I will get our warning signs there on speed, and I will contact the Sheriff's Department troopers first thing in the morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Cindy Robbins.
Hi. I'm very nervous. Those who know me wouldn't think that I'm nervous to talk, but I really am.
I've never noticed it before.
I know. So I am a Vinsec. I live on the farm. I'm obviously very much in favor of preserving the farm. My grandfather was born in the house there, so that means everything to me, but I hear that it's a separate issue of when, I'm understanding that preserving the farm is probably separate from the mall, because I guess I'm asking if I'm able to, maybe what you're looking for is a spot that everyone can actually use that isn't privately owned. I don't know if that's exactly what you're looking for. So I wanted to say that first, but I do wish, like what Josh said, that there was a way for everyone to get together and talk. I do think that's a great idea. I'm also a school nurse in the Saratoga School District, and I've been at Dorothy Nolan, and they moved me to the middle school because our population was down so low that they said it couldn't afford 2 nurses there. So just, you know, so.
Our population's too low?
That's what they said at Dorothy Nolan.
At the Dorothy Nolan.
And so they moved me to Maple Ave this year. I also, what is really important to me is that my salary is public. I'm the school nurse. I got a raise this year, $25,426. I could never afford to live in an $1,800 a month studio apartment. My husband, best man ever, is disabled. Sorry, Justin, I know you're gonna kill me, but he gets $923 a month for the rest of his life. If something happened to me, where would my husband go? He couldn't stay living here in his community. So I do just hope that if you do, it's emotional for me, but I do hope if you approve this, that it's realistic and something that the normal person can afford, you know?
Absolutely. We're working on workforce housing.
Yeah,
That's part of
it is.
This is an ongoing battle, so.
Okay, thank
It's
you.
not going to end.
Thank you. Okay, that's it.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak?
Say, John, say.
Come on up, darling. You're not riding home tonight, are you?
I'm riding my trike back home. I still have to go pick something up. Yes, I still have to go pick something up I left at my friend's house at Pyramid Pines.
Jeepers, God bless you.
I did want to say, the one thing I did forget to mention, I myself am 1 in 26 people that have epilepsy. There's about 9,000 people in Saratoga County itself that have epilepsy, and that's why I do ride my trike places. When they did say, oh, no Section 8 housing, well, I guess that's too darn bad, because Section 8 is a federal program. But this is New York State, Wilton, New York. This is New York. We have programs here in New York State to protect us. I am not an attorney. You guys have attorneys to protect you guys. So I'm covering my butt. But, and I said it nicely, publicly. But that being said, there are programs that the Attorney General has with income discrimination. These new developers, if they want to do this, they cannot discriminate based on someone's income, no matter where it comes from. Whether it comes from Section 8, social services, or any other thing like that. And you guys got to make sure you know that they cannot do that, because if they do, they're making you look like jerks and making you look like idiots, because you guys allowed them to come here into your town and making you guys look like even bigger idiots. Okay, that being
bigger, does that imply that we are?
No, I'm saying if you do allow them.
Just checking.
I'm just saying if you do allow them to do that, and you allow more than one to do that, that's how I'm trying to say it like that.
I understand.
So I'm just trying to empathize, like that's how I say it. And workforce housing and affordable housing, you name everybody here in this room, we could all come up with different numbers on how much we make and what we have to pay for every single day of our lives. So I am just trying to explain that. Also, PROAG, pedestrian rights-of-way accessibility guidelines. Your attorney can give you legal advice on this. I'm not giving you legal advice. Once again, I'm not an attorney. It just became in the Federal Public Register August 8th of this year. So you guys need to make sure that when you do have this, all types of pedestrian rights-of-way, whether it's signage on for people that have hearing, visual impairments, all that stuff, we can all get around safely. If you want to walk around the town with hardly nothing on your eyes so that you can't see, can't hear, make sure that you can be able to get around safely. And also, I've been trying to say this at other meetings, I don't like it when there's sandwich board signs or trash cans out on the side road so that we can all get around safely. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you for letting me come to your town.
Thank you. Thank you, Darlene.
Anybody else want to speak? Everybody had a chance to read last month's minutes? Somebody want to make a motion to approve them? Get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Want to talk about 2024 tentative budget? Maria, you're in charge.
Oh, she's got the clip and everything.
This is the presentation of our 2024 tentative budget that's being presented to the board. Very high-level summary for our fund perspective. We have general fund and highway fund appropriations of 6.5.
Have you got a microphone?
Oh, sorry, sure, I'm sorry. Of course. Did you hear anything that I said before?
Most.
A little bit, okay. The two funds that we have in our budget is our general fund and our highway fund. We have appropriations of $6.5 million in our general fund and an appropriation in our highway fund of $4.2 million. The combined total is $10.7 million, which actually represents a 13% approximate decrease from our, thank you, from our current period amended budget. So it does represent a decrease from the current year budget. It's pretty important to recognize that this is the tentative budget. It will be voted on in the future. There's a budget workshop coming up that I'll talk about in a little bit, but it's all part of the process. Once the budget is passed, there is the ability of the board, as you know, when you come every month and you hear the comptroller's report, we can amend the budget. So this is our starting point right now. Some key points about our 2024 tentative budget is that this is the 42nd year that there is no town tax in either the general fund or the highway fund, which is a pretty significant accomplishment, and it relates to the wonderful foresight that boards in the past have had, as well as the current board in terms of managing current period and prior expenditures. The budget that's presented today is a structurally balanced budget, so we're not using fund balance to plug any deficits. We are balancing our revenues and our expenditures without the use of surplus. We do use surplus from prior years when we fund our reserves. So we take prior year surpluses, we increase our reserves, and then in the future, we use it for specific reasons. This year for 2024, we're planning on using $383,000 of our reserves for projects and equipment. $208,000 is for our park equipment and park capital improvements. $100,000 is for a planned garage improvement. We're going to be bringing in a new water line for a hydrant, and $70,000 is for a repaving project in our town hall campus. Again, this represents a decrease of $1.7 million from the current period amended budget. We're also planning on tentatively using $900,000 for road improvements from the highway, as well as purchasing new highway equipment of approximately $430,000. Of course, a copy of our tentative budget is available online as well as at the clerk's office.
Do we have a breakdown of the $208,000 of park equipment?
Yes, so $118,000 is going to be for a vehicle and mower, and the remainder, $90,000, is for capital improvements.
$110,000 for a vehicle and a mower?
Yes, so the Toro...
What kind of vehicle and what kind of mower?
The Toro motor is estimated at $100,000.
A mower?
Yeah, and
Yeah, but
John King, if he's here, can elaborate on that.
Wow. You can't get any cows?
They're not cheap.
Right.
That's what they cost.
Well, we bought one.
I know golf course equipment. I don't know many that we bought for $100,000.
That's what they're up to now.
And when's the last time? When's the last time?
Everything's gone up.
10 years ago, they were 60.
We did buy a Bobcat
Wow.
a couple of years ago for
Holy
$80,000.
moly.
Yeah.
I'm not mowing my lawn again.
and,
And mow itself.
oh, and the Ford F-450.
What's artificial turf cost?
Right, exactly. Also, a hard copy of the budget can be made available at the town clerk's
And
office if anybody needs it.
Just, John, is John still here?
Yeah.
How old is our mower right now?
The 13-foot cut is 15 years old now. And when we bought that, that was $62,000.
I remember how much that one was.
This next one is 8 years old. That's a 9-foot cut, and that was $62,000 also.
You gotta remember, you're not buying a residential mower.
No, these are big mowers. These are commercial.
Well, no,
I'm just
Aaron,
amazed.
yeah, she's a golf
I'm
cart.
well
so-
aware what these
It's like a Corvette with a freaking mower on it.
All right, thank you. Wow.
Thank you, John.
We should sell the part.
This slide is our functional categories of expenditure for both the general fund and the highway fund. One of the largest expenditure types, functional categories, is our general government category. That would include things like, services that benefit the entire town. So think of your assessor's department, the justice court, think of the accountant, the engineer, those types of services that apply to every program. Another large category is our culture and recreation program, which is $1.6 million, and that represents categories, of course, at Gavin Park, also at Scout Road. It also encompasses historical activities, so things that support preserving and promoting the history of Wilton. But of course, the greatest part of that would be Gavin Park. And this slide depicts our revenue sources. So the thing that I always like to drive home, excuse me, is that the town relies a great deal on our sales tax. So our sales tax is over 76% of our total budget. So when we talk about our appropriations that we are tentatively budgeting, we always have to be cognizant of the sensitivity to the budget from changes in sales tax. We know the kind of economic situation that we're in as a country, as a whole. We have to be very aware of changes in sales tax relative to consumer spending, relative to other factors such as inflation and the high level of consumer debt that exists right now. So spending may not be as strong in 2024 as it is in 2023. So those appropriations that we're talking about are going to have to shift according to how the sales tax revenue comes in during the year.
How was our revenue this year, sir?
Our revenue was phenomenal this year.
Was it up from last year?
It was up. It was up significantly. Our sales tax revenue was up. I think we're projected to have a total of about $7.6 million in sales tax revenue this year. So that's very strong. Everything is steady this year. I always enter the new year with the sense of caution, extreme caution, because you just don't know what's going to happen. Right. So when we talk about these expenditures, obviously we could make shifts, either decreasing expenditures or increasing expenditures, depending on what sales tax does.
If the kids are good or not.
Right. And you can see the other categories of revenue really are nowhere near our property tax, non-property tax, excuse me. And our upcoming budget workshop is Wednesday, October 11th at 2 o'clock. It says 2 to 3, but it can go as long as it needs to go. It's just a rough framework. The meeting is open to the public. Public is invited to attend and listen to the board deliberate on different things. And if you need more information, please feel free to call me. My phone number is on the slide. The information about the budget workshop is on the town's website and is also going to be on Facebook.
Thanks, Maria.
Thank you.
Just a comment. Yeah, I spent 40 years in the banking and finance business, and I've seen a lot of people good at crunching numbers over the years, but it's unusual to see somebody who not only is a good number cruncher, but also gives in-depth analysis and looking at the possible risks to a forecast, as Maria mentioned. So just want to commend the town controller for doing such a thorough job on the budget again.
She always does a great job.
Is it possible to get changes from last year's budget to this year? Give me a copy of that. salaries and jobs and all that stuff?
Yes.
Give me a copy after.
You got it.
All right, thank you.
We want a motion, set a date for public hearing on this.
We need a
Wait, for what?
motion to adopt the
I'll make a motion to adopt the preliminary budget.
tentative.
I'll second.
Aye. In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And then a motion to...
Make a motion to set the public hearing for the preliminary budget.
On a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Carried.
Second would be the
And that is...
first Thursday in November?
November 2nd at 7 PM.
We have an appointment to the Park and Rec Commission. Andrea.
Glagowski, and I'm sorry, that's a 5-year term. I don't know why.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Reappointment to Park and Rec Commission, Mark Daly, from 9/1/2023 to 8/31/26. Need a motion?
Make a motion to approve his reappointment?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Reappoint to the Board of Assessment Review, Michael Coleman, from 10/1/2023 to 9/30/2023.
I'll make a motion.
Wait.
No, that's not right. Sorry,
that ain't right.
28?
Oh, 28? Oh.
Sorry.
You got promoted today?
10/1/2023 to 9/30/2028.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
The second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Oh, she's back again.
Margot, how are you?
Every month is quarterly.
How many quarters of the year?
Wildlife report.
Should have left them off.
Hello, Margot.
Hi, how is everybody?
You're doing well.
It's hard, it just, yeah, I think I came to a couple meetings in between, but it just feels like you said, these quarterly reports come up faster and faster. So, so I think all of you have in your packets, you know, the written quarterly report. So technically, the quarter was the end of September, but if you can see, for a lot of the program information, I gave you the year-to-date, so you would see, so that does include all the way through, so that's the end of September, now that we're in. So the third quarter program attendance, in the summer, we do an awful lot with the summer camps. We do a lot with Gavin Park. So our summer attendance for those programs was up from last year. So we're seeing again, after COVID, we're building back to see some of the numbers where they were or even before they were with COVID, which is really great. So again, we've been continuing doing lots of different programs. We have the public programs that we do. We have the programs that we do out in the community. And so I feel we serve the town of Wilton very well, and then we've been expanding also to serve the greater community, but it doesn't take away from what we're doing with the town to be able to have the capacity to work broader in the into the county of Saratoga. One of the ways that we're doing that is that we had the grant that we got through the Land Trust Alliance with through the Conservation Partnership Program, so we're partnering with Saratoga Plan. So in addition to doing programs here on trails in the town of Wilton, like at Ora Phelps, that is a Saratoga Plan trail, we've been doing programs at Bog Meadow, we were doing programs this summer and this fall down at Round Lake. So that was a funded program that we were able to hire interns to be able to give us that capacity to be able to build on what we're already doing. So that's been something that we've been very happy with the way that program has been going. So there's all the information here, you know, in that report. I feel like it's been a long evening for people, so I will not belabor the things that you already have in front of you. I did put together just an update because as we continue to work on the Larry Gordon Outdoor Education Center project at the town of Wilton's Camp Saratoga, I just wanted to kind of keep everybody up to date on kind of where we are. So this is just a recap of what we have talked about before. Again, this outdoor education center project, I don't feel like there's a good place for me to stand here. So we're honoring Larry Gordon and his vision related to that area around Scout Road and his dedication to the town of Wilton. We know that it's a gem. We've been talking all this evening about what a gem the town of Wilton is and the role that it plays in Saratoga County, and certainly within the town of Wilton, that Boy Scout camp area is really a gem and a treasure, and so we're really hoping that this project will take that and take it to the next level. So again, we've got these historic buildings. We will be improving and creating a welcoming campus there. It'll be this one-of-a-kind outdoor education center serving both the town of Wilton residents and then beyond. And then it gives us that year-round space to enhance the programming for, as I said, for the town of Wilton and then for the greater community. So just some pictures there. So it's funny, I don't know, sometimes I'm surprised how many people maybe have not been to Camp Saratoga. So I will point out, so this was at the Striders Fun Run. They have the 5K runs this summer, so you can get an idea of how many people come and use the park for those recreational purposes. The other picture was a campfire program that we had. That was a picture from last summer. Again, this is right in the area where we're talking about this core of Camp Saratoga where these improvements will be taking place. So since we last met, the last report, the committee continues to work with the steering committee. We've refined our budget plans. We've been really looking at and hammering out the usages of the buildings and revising our plans based on that. Brian and Scott are both really invaluable, giving us their expertise to help us stay on track. We had a site plan meeting with the steering committee with Ryan and Scott, and some of you know Joe Sporco from the LA group. So he came and we walked over the whole site and we talked about how we wanted to move people around and what the goal would be. So the LA group has developed this preliminary site plan, which I'll be showing you next. Scott's gotten started with ordering materials. The steel beams are ordered that are needed to support the floor, new windows, and then the committee is continuing to prepare for the fundraising that will be needed. So I'm going to stand up here. I can send you all, as we get more deep into this, but I sent it to Ryan today. This is literally, hot off the press from the LA group. And so this gives you an idea. This is the draft site and pathways plan. So you can see the buildings. And so these will be accessible paths using stone dust that will allow people to park in the parking lot and then be able to move from building to building. And as we refurbish them, so into the places where the Larry Gordon collection will be, so people can see the scouting collection that was Larry's, exhibits and materials for on the butterflies, on the flora, the fauna of the Saratoga Sand Plains, and then of course, all of the other kinds of public program spaces. And then in winter, from the welcome cabin, we'll be able to rent out cross-country skis, snowshoes as we do in the winter. And then again, it's a place where people can stop you around, pick up maps, ask questions, figure out where the best places are to go. So this is that preliminary map that's from the LA group. And I just want to say that Joe Spork on the LA group, they're doing this as a pro bono project. So we're really appreciative of their community-mindedness to be able to work with us on this. And I know they have a long and close history with the towns.
Yeah. In fact, Joe Sporco and I went hiking up in the Adirondacks over this past weekend, and he's very excited about working on this project.
Great. So this is just, this is just a zoom in so you can see the main parking lot number one, kind of finishing it up a little bit, adding a couple more spots, creating accessible entrance into the welcome cabin where people will be able to come in, and then the path that will be accessible heading towards the restrooms and the other buildings. So that's just like it is. Like I said, this was just, I think, we got from yesterday. So this is all very new and exciting. So again, we're continuing to meet regularly. We're really waiting for that day when Scott tells me I'm at the building, putting those beams in or installing the windows. because then we'll really start to feel like this is real, this is happening. So we're continuing working on developing the interior exhibit plan. We're working with the scouting group to identify which of the objects, the many, many, many objects in Larry's collection, that will be part of that, at least the preliminary exhibits. We're gathering cost information on that internet phone service, and we had some good news that it's actually going to be less than we thought because Larry put a conduit under the road that they can use to do it. So we don't have to deal with the railroads and the ground and most of the whole thing. So we're working on a signage plan, and then again, we're going to be in fundraising mode for a while. So we are developing, the donation materials to reach out to the community of people to help move the project along. So again, pictures, Saratoga Independent School, this is over by the old council fire. They were there doing a program when we were learning about the forest there. And then you can see the cute kids from Wilton Rep bring their Wilton Rep shirts at the pond where they came for a field trip. So not only do we go to Gavin Park to do the programs, but they come and visit us as well. So that's the quarterly update. I think that, yes, that was it.
Thank you, Margot, for the report, and thanks for the great job you do there.
So hopefully, next quarterly report.
Next week.
We'll have all kinds of pictures of Scott installing things, all kinds of wonderful advancements. Oh my goodness, of course. Thank you, Linda. That's what I was working on all day today. So we do have our main fundraiser, speaking of fundraising, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. It's at the Wishing Well. Bob Lee does a wonderful, wonderful job there for us, so that event is coming up next Sunday afternoon. You can still get tickets if you're interested in attending. You can go to our website, and that supports. We're celebrating, this year we're celebrating not an individual, we're celebrating what our mission is. We're supporting, celebrating our work in environmental education, outdoor recreation, and conservation. So that's a great event. I know some of you who are in the room, I see your name is on the list that will be coming, and I hope many more of you will be able to join us.
That's the 15th?
The 15th, yes. I noticed on the Gavin Park website, there's two fundraisers that day that you should support.
The 5K run, I was going to say.
The Friends of Gavin Park are doing a run in the morning, and then you can take a break, and then you can come over to the Wishing Well.
They can run over to Wishing Well.
I'm going to be in that race.
Yeah.
I can see following them in the golf cart just to make sure they get there safe. I'm not saying I'm running. The only time I run is when I'm being chased.
I'll be jogging my memory.
When's the date for this?
My running days are over after
The what? 5K.
That's the 15th.
15th.
No, October 15th.
4 p.m.
Oh, 4 p.m. Margot, 4 p.m. on the...
Yes, 4 p.m. Sunday. Thank you.
We have a contract with Wilton Wild. You want to talk about that, right? Your baby.
So a week or so ago, Maria and I met with Margot and a couple of members of the board of the Wilton Wildlife Preserve and talked about changes in the use of the funding that the town is committed to. And in subsequent to that meeting, Maria and I have been swapping messages back and forth, and did we conclude that we do not need to amend the contract?
Correct. The way it's stated is reasonable.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, so the amount of funding that we had committed to would stay the same.
Right.
But we don't actually need to adjust the contract.
Right. It's just, we just want to have the 2023 grant agreement in place, approved, just to kind of formalize the agreement.
Had we not formally approved it?
Correct.
Prior? Oh, okay.
Make a motion to approve it.
I'd like to make sure our council has opportunity to review it to make sure we're within our guidelines. I'm not sure if you've had that chance yet.
I think you're right.
I will send it to you.
Yeah, but it hasn't changed from last year, this year, right? No. There's no changes.
Did you see it last year?
Can we show it to him?
Must have.
Yes, I think he may have.
He was with us last year. Slide something in there quick. Margot, what else you need?
This doesn't look like it did
It's coming back to you.
Somebody want to make a motion on this?
I did already.
You're on the spot,
Have a
Brian.
second? No in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Champaign
Thanks, Margo.
Hudson Power
See you next month.
Express. You
So-
want to take that, Aaron?
Yep, Andrew is here, yep, to just give
You're on,
a
Andrew. You're on.
quick, Ray, will you turn that light back on? A quick
sure.
overview. Ryan and I had a conference call with Champlain Hudson contractors, the land price negotiators, all that kind of stuff last week. We just want to make sure that the town, that everybody's on the same page at the same time. There are 28 affected residents that are looking for temporary to permanent easements. Anybody within 100 feet can also be affected as the construction kind of comes along the railway.
My place?
And we just want to make sure that everybody's aware of the construction, the clearing, the project, the value of their property, making sure that it's consistent, depending on the amount of kind of access that'll be taken. People within 100 feet can get their properties, their foundations inspected, so that they know that they are safe and sound prior to this project coming through. So again, here's a flyer. We are going to have a public open house where all the major players are going to come together and help give a presentation, answer questions, open to the public, whether it's at your house or you're on the other side of town, you just want to know more about it.
Yeah, so just a real high-level overview, just before we start on that. Champlain Hudson Power Express is a 340-mile HVDC energy line that's going to connect Canadian hydropower from Quebec to New York City. It's going to be completely buried, either in Lake Champlain or in the Hudson River, or in this area to avoid the PCB dredging. It's going to go online, or it's going to go on land. So it comes out of the water at about Putnam Station, follows rail and road rights of way, and goes back into the water south of Catskill. In the town of Wilton, it's going to follow the rail rights of way. And where we can't stay in the rail rights of way, we do need temporary or permanent easements from about 28 landowners. As of this afternoon, we had agreements with 15 of them. Our land team has reached out to everyone, has made contact. They're continuing to talk. There will be an open house meeting in 2 weeks, as you noted. And just in terms of what we're talking about, the construction process, it's 2 5-inch cables. So basically what we're going to do is cut a 3-foot by 5-foot deep utility trench. In that trench, they're going to lay 2 8-inch PVC conduits and a smaller conduit for fiber optic. The fiber optic is the control system for the line, so we can tell if there's anything going on. We will trench it, open it, trench it, backfill it with something called flow fill, which helps dissipate the heat a little bit. It's kind of a fluidized concrete. Cover it up, and then in 2025, we will come back through and pull the cable through. So in-service date is projected at 2026. We are going to, because the railroad crosses over, we're going to need 5 crossings in the town of Milton. So if you start going from north to kind of south, it's Pettis, Scout, and Edie are open trenching. The first time we cross Jones Road, we're going to HDD underneath. So it's a horizontal directional drill. So instead of a 3 to 5 foot cut, we're going to go down 15 to 20 feet with some HDD drills, pop it back up on the other side. And then the last Scout Road is also an open trench. So that would be the plan. We're still working on final approvals.
Yeah, what about the stream after Jones Road? between Jones and 9?
If there is wetlands or a stream, they will go under. It's very heavily regulated by the New York State PSC. Every time we have to make any change at all, we've got to go back through. We've got to get the EMPC, which is the Environmental Management Construction Plan, approved, and we're working on that now. It is under construction in Putnam. We are doing some work down in Stony Point, and they're doing some mattressing in some of the waterways right now.
Yeah, we did a site visit, Ryan and I and Mike, about, 6 weeks ago?
Yeah, July 25th, maybe.
Yeah.
With Mike Martinez.
What's the purpose of the permanent easements? I'm not sure, because if it was following the rail bed.
Yeah, so the whole point was to just be on the rail right away the whole way.
Right.
But there are some spots.
Why are they moving on my property is what I want to know. Why are they coming over?
I don't know exactly where you.
I know, I'm asking you. I know you are, so.
Been approached by the?
Yeah, I just want to know what the purpose of.
So the only way we would come off is where topography or there's some other co-located infrastructure is in there that we can't get in the right of way. Sometimes the railroad simply won't let us be in the right of way.
Like the rail crossing, the overpass on Jones Road.
Right, I get that part,
Where the walls are, there's some catch basins, some area of drainage that
There was a
Mike
permanent
noted.
easement for Roland.
So they have to come out a little farther than expected. Same thing with Scout Road crossing, because it's an overpass.
Well, Scout Road has the old railroad bridge that's there. It's very narrow bridge, stone laid abutments, and they have to build, excavate outside of the area, so they're asking for a permanent easement from the town of Wilton behind the big red barn on Scout Road.
And where it's deemed, I see it, but like, I think Roland said that they were looking for a permanent one on his. It's like right next to the railroad bed.
They're probably asking for on Roland's property?
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a house behind, way in the back, in between the.
Right, but his neighbors with me.
So it might be.
He's close to the railroad track.
Because that's where they're doing the directional drilling, and they need a little bit more area to do the directional drilling, and it's probably one of the areas for directional drilling.
Yeah, so when
Rollins wouldn't be directional drilling.
when they're in the trench,
They're directional drilling under Route 9.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
Yes, it's a long ways. It's
It ain't back by my.
Drilling 600 feet.
And that's.
Easily.
Yeah, because when they're in the trench, they're a couple of.
600 feet would be the guy that bought the Bulls property, not Rollins. Rollins is further than, he's about 1,000 feet from Route 9.
They maybe need his access, so they may need a temporary.
Right, that's what I mean, temporary I could see, but permanent, because he was saying they were only offering him a certain
And
amount
that
per
is
acre.
exactly why we're having the public here, the open house, so that can all be cleaned up right there with neighbors, so that everybody's on the same page, because it's very easy to confuse temporary and permanent. And it's a lot of moving parts.
Right.
You know, for people, we've been working on this since the spring of 2020. It seems to have, it started with the feds and the state and kind of trickled down. So now that it's impacting people's property, that's where we're starting to kind of hear from people like, what is this? I don't know what this is. And it's like, yeah, it sounds about right. So we want to just make sure that the entire, it's coming through 7 miles through town. Like you said, there's 5 crossings on roads. Some of it, at Setup Station and Gavin Park, there needs to be some clear treeing, so we're negotiating when that actually takes place or where that staging is going to be. So again, it's just a big informational question. As far as people's individual properties, they won't be negotiating the terms of their easements that night, but everybody can just be assured that they're hearing the same information, just so there's consistency.
Yeah, we'll have experts there. And just, I started in this role in July of 2023. I live in Clifton Park. But I've worked off and on the project as a consultant since probably 2010 when it was just an idea. So,
But for me, my property values diminished because of high tension wires. It's down because of railroad. And is it going to go down because of this heater that you're putting under the ground?
once it's buried,
it's done. There's nothing going to be.
It's just like any other piece of infrastructure in the ground,
So it's not going to emit heat? I thought I heard you say something about heat.
There's a little bit of heat that's mitigated through the flow fill, but it won't be an issue. Grass grows right on top of it. There's no problem. So.
What's the schedule again? I didn't know.
for the open house. It's going to be Thursday, October 19th. They're on the table.
It's on our Facebook and
Yeah,
website too.
6 to 8 in the Blue Gym.
Don't let
In the Gavin Park.
construction happen during July.
No, we're not.
No, we've had that
that's
conversation. It won't be July or August happening in Gavin Park.
Yeah, we're fully aware of that.
Yeah. And they were gonna clear a lot of the trees in that back lot this November with no construction happening
Well,
for
they
a
did-
year, 12 to 18 months. And we asked them to hold off on that because we don't want kids getting to the train tracks.
National Grid took a pole down next to me, and it's probably 150 feet from my house, and 2 weeks later, I got just about every window in my house is broken out. And it's from them dropping them chunks of telephone pole that were this,
Yeah, we'll certainly, take every caution.
I hope so.
You might get a new set of windows, John, another set.
I already did. I don't need another set.
And to your point, that's exactly why they're offering a home inspection to anybody within 100 feet so that they
Well, I
know their
wish
house is
National
safe
Grid
and
did
sound
that.
should anything happen during it.
National Grid's like, that ain't us.
We also have a
Well, of
claims
course,
team
it's
that's gonna handle any issues that are already, engaged, so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture of my windows,
Absolutely.
before and after.
Yes, absolutely. If there's any issues, we will work with you to take care of it.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and speaking.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks.
Will we see you in 2 weeks too?
Oh, yeah, I'll be there.
All right, thank you.
He's on the same cycle as the...
Car road, traffic safety, precision and connecting improvement, Ryan, you want to speak?
Okay, so you guys have in front of you two documents. One says Route 50, one says Car Road.
And I need those back.
Yeah, we hear they need them back.
I threw mine away.
Yeah.
Well, in these,
Let's do Car Road
documents, we'll start with
first.
the Route 51. Basically what they are, they're standard contracts with New York State DOT for the federal funding of the two grant projects that we received. The first one I'll talk about is the Route 50 real quick. And you'll see in there the Schedule A. What we need to do is have a resolution by the town board for each one of these projects to enter into the agreement with the state. So with that, basically pretty standard language. We can't change it.
You're on top of everything, you studied everything, you're happy with everything.
I'm happy with everything.
So that means he didn't study nothing. He's just happy with it.
So basically, if everybody's happy with
the standard contract? Yay, yippee.
We can't change the language without, we can't change it.
No, is this for what, traffic study?
So Route 50 is for the design of the roundabout on Route 50.
Never mind.
So it's design only for the Route 50. The Car Road one is for the design, it's design only of the dual, each roundabout on each end car, and the pathway.
Design in the pathway.
I get lost in the one we have now.
Okay.
Well, that's what you got.
Well, stop going
I
straight.
just,
If you stop going straight.
You all
it's
set?
like National Lampoon's, just
Oh,
driving in
it's
circles.
stand roundabout.
Somebody want to make a motion for the car road, traffic,
I'll make that motion.
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Number 13, Route 50,
Make a motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Amendment to Resolution Number 45, Deputy Register Vital Statistics. You want to talk about that, Sue?
Sure, we have it, it's vacant at this time, and I'd like to appoint Sandra Holcomb as Deputy Registrar of Vital Statistics.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
Second.
in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Committee reports.
We think that the graphite range will be open by the end of this month. It looks promising this time.
It does. They are closing within a couple weeks. I spoke to the attorney today.
Yep.
So they're closing in a couple weeks, and I spoke to DOT today regarding no parking signs along Route 9 in that stretch.
Yep.
And they will...
I never see those.
Yeah.
They're up to him somehow.
Cell tower should be up and operating at the firehouse.
They've been working back there. They've been working.
Piece of fiber
My
finally
phone
showed
still
up.
says SOS.
Here's the funny thing, is we have Verizon phones in our firehouse that haven't worked for a month. And they're putting a cell tower behind my firehouse, but we can't get them to fix our phones in our station.
We got an Apple Social this Sunday, the 8th at Wilton
Are we done with committee
Historic.
report?
No.
I'm on them right now.
Oh, is that, oh, I'm sorry, sir, were you talking?
I thought I was talking. I thought I was. All right.
I didn't hear nothing.
The Wilton Historical Society on Parkhurst Road from 1 to 4. The 15th, we have a 5K run at Gavin Park, begins at 9 a.m. You can register up to the 14th.
Kids are free.
Kids are free.
Good for you, John.
Yeah, we had a bulk waste pickup at Gavin Park and Highway. I saw a lot of cars there. I like to think everybody was happy in that town. We had Narcon training at Gavin Park. Pretty good show up. The pickleball court was resurfaced. Done a nice job. The parking lot's being done, the large parking lot at Gavin Park. Should be done next week, Mike?
Yeah. Milling this week.
Well, I don't have any committees to report now.
I have some things if you...
What else?
When I'm done, I'll let you speak.
You let me know, will you?
We got fall leaf pickup that will be announced. We're gonna wait till most of the leaves are down. That will be on our website and then the newspaper. I was
Is it gonna be a
told,
one-time thing or multiple?
it'd probably be in sections of the town they're gonna do it, I imagine.
Okay.
Nancy's in charge.
One time.
I was told that cell tower at Maple Avenue Firehouse is gonna be turned on today. I don't know what's going on. But myself and Supervisor Hammond from Malta had a meeting with Assemblywoman Carrie Warner, and about 4 people in attendance and about 5 on Zoom 2 weeks ago, complaining about the cell service all through, not just our town, all through the county, and they promised us things would be better, but I've heard that for the last 2 or 3 years, but we do work on it and try to get them to move. I called them 2 days ago about Northern Pines Road. They put some different striping on, brighter. That should be done by next Wednesday or Thursday.
When are they putting that final?
It should be done by next Wednesday or Thursday. They
Oh,
said Tuesday.
The paving part.
The top is
not
done, I
painting.
think.
Oh.
Right,
That's a
Mike?
base coat. They're gonna put the final coat and all the striping.
Oh.
But they did put some brighter striping there.
Yeah, Mike explained it. What was, it's like a melt?
The mill
All right. I was told it'd be done by Tuesday, but I wouldn't count on it. Hey, Dwayne, you're up now.
I have nothing to say.
Motion adjourned.
Actually, this week was a tough week for a local family and a lot of local people through a lot of emotions with the kidnapping of the 9-year-old. I would just like to thank the Wilton Fire Department for hosting the command post for the entire search, and the local fire departments and emergency services.
I'd like to thank all the volunteers all
Put
through the
people in the
county.
woods. Secondly, this is October, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'd like the ladies and gentlemen to try to be proactive in their health care. That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else? You got anything to report, Steve? Okay.
Unusual, but...
In November we'll get you. In November we'll get you.
Yeah, this, are we doing anything with
Yeah,
this?
I don't know.
That's on your...
These are some of the changes that we've worked on.
Did I miss it?
For code. Oh,
No,
I got the
it's
packet.
No, it's under committee.
They just, I received them at about...
Under the
Yeah, it's under
committee.
committee.
There's some of the changes that we'd like to get going on from our code revision committee that we've agreed on. We're still working on the committee's still working on the rest of them, but we figured we'd get these up here for you to review for possibly next month.
Okay.
And we can vote at least on the changes that are done. And then there's a few more to come.
Did you want to set a public hearing now?
Do we need a public hearing for these?
No.
Yeah, we'll set the public hearing. Then. Do you want to, or do you want to?
I don't know, you want to wait
enough
more, or you want to get this done?
I mean, this is mainly the stuff that we put in a sunset clause. These builders have to, if they're going to start or the petition the board to start a project, they have to complete it within a couple of years.
Increase of fees for...
Increase of fees.
I think in as much as, we'll have a month to review it, if everyone else is comfortable, we can set a public hearing for next month.
You want to make a motion?
Either take action then or at the following meeting.
Yeah.
Somebody want to make a motion, set a public hearing for that?
I'll make a motion to set a public hearing for...
November 2nd, 7:01.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Maria, do the controller's report.
And if anybody has, if anyone has any questions on it, our committee, we sit next Thursday.
Thursday, right.
So just email me, or if you think you see anything you don't like or whatever, and we can talk about it at that meeting.
I'll get those on the website tomorrow.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
You're up.
Okay, thank you. So the first category for the comptroller's report is our 2023 budget transfers. So we have 5 items. The first item is related to improvements that we're making at Gavin Park for the replacement of the playground carpet, which is going to cost $25,116. That money is going to come from our parks equipment and capital expenditures and transferred over to the playground equipment expenditures. The second item is for celebrations, which is where our costs for our recent summer concert were captured. Because the event was a success, we're going to be rerunning the program next summer. So I am opening up a new department code for the collection of these expenditures going forward, and that is called band concerts. Follows along with the OSC established chart of accounts. So why not use the exact account code to capture those costs? So what I would like to do for 2023 is put those costs where they belong. So that's the purpose of moving that. It's just taking money that we've already spent and putting it in a new account code. It's a reclass. The third item is permanent improvements that we're doing on Gickaway, Harron Lane, and White Pine Lane. Total cost of $34,144.50, and you can see the allocation for each one of those roads. It's for blacktop and milling. And items 4 and 5 are related. This is highway fund portion. We're going to talk about the general fund portion in our budget amendments in a few seconds. The highway fund has an increase in the state retirement. The state retirement, Neisler's, has a program where they provide us with an estimated invoice, which was about $100,000 less than their proposed invoice, which I just received in early September. So to help pay for this increase in the state retirement, which is the town's responsibility to pay on behalf of the employees, I'm moving money that we have in available appropriations from employees' medical insurance and retirees' medical insurance to help cover the increase in the retirement invoice.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget transfers 1 through 5.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Thank you. The second category is our 2023 budget amendments. The first item in there is to account for the summer camp salaries, which were increased early in the summer camp season. So we're taking money from the available additional revenue that we received, and we're using that to cover the increase in the salary expense. The second item and the third item is coming from interest that we earned that's in excess of what we budgeted. We were very fortunate that the town has able to invest money that's not immediately needed for paying bills, and because of that we had very nice interest income that we received this year so far, and we're going to use $91,000 of that interest to pay for the resurfacing of the Gavin Park parking lot. We're going to use $90,000 to offset the cost of the retirement bill that I was talking about a few minutes earlier.
Somebody want to make a motion of budget amendments?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. The third item is something new that we really haven't talked about before. I'll keep it brief. Back in 2013, the Office of the State Comptroller implemented a fiscal stress monitoring system. The town has been getting scored annually. This year, I just wanted to announce that we received our score from the State Comptroller's office. The score was 0, which is the best ever.
Wait a minute, 0's good?
No stress.
Heck, I did good.
Yeah.
No stress for our finances, which is great. There's a series of measurements that the State Comptroller's office uses, like
Be on the honor roll.
cash to fund balance, cash to expenditures. So based on those different indicators, you were given a score.
That 0 don't mean like you two were in school.
I was gonna say, I'd have been on the honor roll.
According to this, I did good.
For a second, I thought that was my SATs, but
It's an indicator of our fiscal solvency.
Well, good.
That's a sign of your great work, and thank you.
It's also relative to the town's good decision-making, so I appreciate that. Thank you. So the fourth category is personnel. Mark Marino, who is our full-time recreation administrator at Gavin Park, submitted his letter of resignation, which is effective tomorrow, the 6th of October, and the board is requested to accept Mr. Marino's resignation.
I'll make a motion to accept Mr. Marino's resignation.
With a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. Mr. Ross McNeil is available to accept the vacant full-time recreation director position, effective October 18th, 2023. If he's approved, Mr. McNeil would be hired at the annual salary of $82,000.
And he was a former employee there, and always did a great job.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he was with us for, gosh, a decade or so.
I think he was a camp
They're all
counselor.
excited, everybody's excited to see him come back. Do you want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion to...
Second?
Dwayne.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed? Carried.
The third item under personnel is Julie Hotaling's retirement date had changed from when last month we talked about it, so I just wanted to enter it into the record that Julie's official retirement date is September 20, 2023.
I'll make a motion to ratify that date.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. And then as a result, Sandy Holcomb's start date as a full-time employee is September 20th, 2023.
And a motion?
Ratify that date as well.
Second.
Make a motion.
Favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. And then the last item for personnel is that the 2024 annual meeting of the Association of Towns is coming up in February. We have early bird registration that is going to expire October 31st. We have some members who are looking to attend. Those members so far are Sue Baldwin, Dwayne Bogardis, Ryan Riper, one planning board member who is to be determined, and one zoning board member to be determined.
Did you want to throw your hat in there?
That's New York City?
I am not available to go,
A motion?
unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Before we,
Thank you for a great job you did in that budget.
thank you. Before we adjourn, under committee reports, the town of Wilton is sponsoring a safe daylight option for trunk or treating
Oh,
in the
that's right.
parking lot of Town Hall on Friday, October 27th.
Put your mask on and show up.
From 3 to 5. We're going to have emergency services here, the rescue squad, sheriff's
What is
department,
it, trunk or treat?
trunk or treat, and highway
trunk?
department.
You're in the trunk?
Decorated.
Elephants.
So as soon as the parking lot will be closed off, and as soon as the kids
And
get
big
out of
people
school,
can
they can come over. No, John. It is from 3 to 5 on Friday, October 27th, after school. Yep.
You know, that COVID is showing a spike again. We always got test kits out there, so feel free to take them.
3 to 5.
You want to make a motion to...
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
I know all is in favor of this one.
Can you read the minutes back?
So these are staying?
Yes, please, if I could have those.
Burn them. Burn them.
Thank you.
That's my main route of travel. By the time I get to a firehouse.
I missed a